So, if you ask any lad on the streets the kind of things that would make up their perfect girl, I imagine they'd say something like, oh, she can hold her own liquor, she can fend off a knife-wielding maniac, and she's happy to get steamy with another girl. Yeah, it sounds like an impossible list, right? Well, not, perhaps, when you meet my guest today. Hello again, I'm Zane and welcome to the guest list, where on this penultimate episode, I'm delighted to be hanging out with a truly talented star who also has a spectacular taste in films. Get ready to scream. She's this way. Episode 6, Season 3 of The Guest List brings us an actress, a writer, a dancer and a producer. The star of one of Hollywood's most successful franchises. It's easy to see why she was once voted the third sexiest actress in the history of cinema. With 2 new films in the pipeline, it's fair to say she's still a lady in demand. But luckily, she's found time to join me on The Guest List. Neve Campbell, hello and welcome to The Guest List.
Thank you very much.
May I first of all say that is a lovely blouse you're wearing. So how are you genuinely?
I'm good. I'm very good, thank you.
Because you haven't had to come far today. We're here in the centre of London,
yep.
And you are London-based now.
I am, yeah.
You live here in the UK?
Yeah, I've been living here for almost 5 years now.
So what was it that brought you to our shores?
My husband is English.
And that's it. Yeah. The food's awful, the transport system sucks.
I hate the place really, but he's great. So, no, he's English. I have my passport already because my dad's from Glasgow, my mother's from Amsterdam, and I've always been inclined to come this side of the water. So I was very happy.
And you like it here,
yeah.
then, I take it?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh,
I
that's
really
good.
Love it, yeah.
Now, I want to ask one question before we continue, because it's a question that I'm dying to ask. And
okay.
I almost fear that if I don't ask it immediately, it will fester.
Okay.
Scream 4.
Yeah.
Scream 4!
Yeah.
So, the rumour mill she has been turning about whether you will be reprising your role as the infamous Sidney Prescott in the 4th instalment of the Scream films, which is slated to produce next year.
Yeah.
Is it true?
It is true. Yes.
Yes,
absolutely. I'm going to do it. We start shooting mid-April in the States, so.
Wow. So, entertain my curiosity, because there was a moment where it looked like you were not too keen to take on the role again.
Yeah, I was apprehensive. I think it was a long time ago that we did them now.
It was 2000 Scream 3.
Yeah, and I think we all kind of swore up and down we wouldn't do another. We wanted to leave it at that because we were lucky to have made a good trilogy. But now we're kind of at a place where it might be a kick, you know. Courtney's going back, David's going back, it's going to be Wes Craven again, Kevin Williamson is writing. I mean, I'm hoping it'll be Wes, I'm pretty sure it will be. And I think, yeah, it'll be like going back to summer camp. Could be fun.
I imagine all of this is very top secret. You can't tell.
No.
Even by
the last one, most of the cast didn't even get the script. They didn't get the last 20 pages of script until we actually shot it.
Really?
I did, yeah. They're very secretive. They have to be, though, because the internet these days, and, you know, people find some pages or they get a script, and that would ruin it for everybody, so.
Well,
I couldn't even tell you what's going to happen, really. So I've got some concepts, but, yeah.
I'm very excited.
Good.
Well, we're going to talk more about some of your films as we take a look at the 4 movies that you very kindly picked for us today. Now, these are 4 films that you love, that you think other people's lives may well be enhanced by watching them. So, if we could start with a film from 1985, directed by the late John Hughes, and that is The Breakfast Club.
It is now 7:06. You have exactly 8 hours and 54 minutes to think about why you are here.
I mean, we're all pretty bizarre. Some of us are just better at hiding it, that's all.
John Hughes has given us some of the greatest feel-good movies ever. I mean, the 80s was really his decade.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is it about The Breakfast Club in particular that you like?
It was cool, it was hip, it was fun, it was light in some ways, but also really meaningful. And I think what I've found when you look at John's films, they were very much about heart, you know, and about characters and character study. And as much as you say, oh, it's a film about, you know, a bunch of teenagers together at detention, it's a whole lot more than that.
It's like the godfather of the American high school clique system, because you've got the jock, the geek, the outcast, the princess. Did you ever see yourself as one of those? Did you fit into one of those cliques?
No, I didn't really have a normal school situation because I was at a school called the National Ballet School of Canada. So I think I wanted to be one of those. I think I would have loved to have been in a normal high school or that American high school situation. You know, it looks really glamorous in some way or fun in some way, and I think I had a yearning to be a part of that as well. I don't know which. I probably would have related to Ali Sheedy, her character. I think all of us feel like a bit of an outcast at some point, right? So I think I probably had a bit of that.
Yeah.
She was cool too.
It's interesting that you say that because, yeah, I think probably when you're in there, it's not as much fun.
Yeah.
But in the Hollywoodized version of an American high school, you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, you've got the lockers down the side of the corridors. Yeah. I yearned for that when I was
for lockers,
at school.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
I didn't have that either. I really wanted one. Yeah, you have your whole personality in there.
I wanted to be able to open a door and see, you know, pictures of, you know, women in states of undress and just go, look, they will always remain unattainable to me.
As you do.
As you do. Actually, I was into tabletop wargaming at school, so I just have pictures of dice, 20-sided dice.
Nice, yeah.
That was more me.
Interesting.
Do you have a favourite scene?
I think the scene where they all get together, and I think it was improv, when they finally reveal what their issues are.
Do you guys know what I did to get in here? I taped Larry Lester's buns together.
That was you?
Yeah, you know?
Yeah, I know.
Well, they know how hairy he is, right? Well, when they pulled the tape off, most of his hair came off and some skin, too.
Oh, my God.
And the bizarre thing is that I did it for my old man. I tortured this poor kid because I wanted him to think that I was cool.
The Breakfast Club, iconic, genre-defining movie of the 80s.
Yeah.
Scream, iconic, genre-defining movie of the 90s. When you first got the script, did you read it and go, bloomin' heck, this is something that's going to revolutionise the slasher genre?
I really didn't. It was my first feature, really. I'd done a few in Canada. I'd done sort of the fourth girl in the craft. But it was my first lead in a feature film, so I didn't have a whole lot of pick. I was just lucky. You know, I knew it was a very good script. I knew it moved. It's when you open a script and you can't put it down, you have to get to the end. You know it's good, and it definitely was one of those.
To go back to The Breakfast Club, another iconic moment, which is Matt Groening took Eat My Shorts.
Eat My Shorts.
And gave it to Bart Simpson, and now I think if you ask
really?
someone... Yeah. It is a bit of an homage to The Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
So you were in The Simpsons.
I know.
That's got to be up there with
really
kind of
up there
on your things to achieve in life. I'm ticking up.
Yeah.
The Simpsons.
Nah.
How was it?
That was special. It was great. I mean, it was really nice to be asked. I was here in London though, so I didn't get to actually be at the read through, which I would have loved to have done because I would have loved to have heard the actors play those characters in person.
One of my favourite characters in The Breakfast Club, Judd Nelson's character.
Yeah.
Apparently he was method.
I heard a little bit.
In terms where people just stay in the zone.
Yeah.
And I think he actually got into trouble because his character bullies Molly Ringwald's character.
Don't you ever compare yourself to me, okay?
He sort of kept in character and so was quite nasty to her.
Oh, wow.
Offset. Any horror stories? Have you ever met anyone who's that intense? You just go, gosh, they're terrifying.
Yeah. Do I want to name names? Not really. Yeah, actually, I worked with someone fairly recently who was really intense. But he's a really nice guy, so I think I can say his name. But Tim Roth. Super nice, but definitely got into character on set. And he wasn't playing the nicest character. So that was a little rough. But good guy.
Next movie time. This is the second breakfast-titled movie you've picked for us. And it is, of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's.
Yeah.
Moon River, wider than a mile, I'm crossing you in style someday.
Audrey Hepburn, wow.
Stunning, right?
An amazing woman.
Yeah.
What is it about her as an actress that made her, I mean, because she was an icon.
I mean, I think at that time what she brought was a certain classiness that maybe other actresses at the time weren't going with. I think people were sexing things up at that time, and when she came along, she was refreshing in a way. And odd, too. I mean, what was that accent?
I'll tell you one thing, Fred, darling. I'd marry you for your money in a minute. Would you marry me for my money?
In a minute.
So I guess it's pretty lucky neither of us is rich, huh?
It's not American, it's not English, it's a little bit Dutch, because she's got some Dutch in there. And maybe it confused people a bit.
Was
Maybe
that a little Dutch accent you were doing?
No, oh no.
Were you trying?
No, although my mom's Dutch.
Oh, okay, so you could do one in it and people wouldn't go, that's offensive.
Yeah, I could swear in Dutch. I don't know if I could actually do the accent, but I'm not going to, though.
I'd love to hear it.
No, really, no.
I can't imagine Dutch ever sounding offensive because it's all like,
Oh, it really can. It really
Really?
can. Yeah, when my mum is running around the house swearing, it can sound very offensive. Yeah.
Because I just, obviously with Amsterdam just being a hop across the channel and people go there for a feel-good time.
Yes.
You just immediately associate Dutch with like, hey, come on, have a coffee. Let's go to a coffee house. It's going to be super. We're going to get high.
That's an accent.
Yeah. That's Dutch. Yeah, like that? All right. Man of one voice, they call me.
I'm kidding.
Let's have a smoke. Relax.
It's a good city. I like that city.
But enough about the Dutch. Holly Golightly, a role that she said was her most challenging to date. And indeed, one scene in particular, she said, the most distasteful she ever had to shoot, which was dumping Cat out of the window.
Yeah.
This ought to be the right kind of place for a tough guy like you. Garbage cans, rats galore. Scram! I said take off. Beat it.
Brutal scene, actually.
It is.
Really, it really gets you.
I quite like the little sort of nuance of just calling the cat. Cat.
Yeah. You know, my friend Rachel, she calls her cat. And I met Rachel when I was 20, and she didn't bother to tell me that it was from that. She was like, it was her idea, and I thought she was really cool, and I didn't put the two together, and now I realize.
It's an amazing film, but
Yes.
there's one character in it that some people sort of think, actually, that wouldn't work today. At the time, not offensive, now offensive.
Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney as Mr. Unioshi.
Not so PC anymore, is it?
It's weird. Even Blake Edwards, the director, has sort of since gone. It's the only part of it that I'm not happy with.
Yeah, of course.
You know, and it was due an outdoor screening in the States. The film was due to be screened outdoors, and it had to be pulled because people said it's too offensive to do a big outdoor screening. And what I find amusing is the movie they got in to replace Breakfast at Tiffany's was Ratatouille.
Oh no!
You just kind of go, at what point is Ratatouille a stand-in in awkward...
For Breakfast at Tiffany's? Yeah, no.
I mean,
fly.
great movie, but you don't go...
Doesn't compare.
OK, that is it for part one of the guest list, but join me in part two when I'm going to be talking more about some of Neve Campbell's favourite films. I'll see you in a moment. Hello and welcome back to the guest list, where I'm talking through the favourite films of Neve Campbell. Another director who you work with, who is huge in stature, is Richard Attenborough. It was the movie Closing the Ring.
Yep.
And, you know, this is a guy who directed Chaplin and Gandhi and A Bridge Too Far. Yeah. What was that like?
Amazing. Again, I mean, such an honor. I've been really lucky with the people I've gotten to work with. And, I mean, Richard, he's just an absolute gem and incredible. I mean, he showed up on set in Toronto on the first day and knew everybody's names. And I think a film set and a film always comes down to what the director puts out and the atmosphere that they set. And he put out such a warm, loving, supportive atmosphere for everybody, really invited everybody to bring up their game and get involved. So, yeah, he's an amazing man.
I've met him once. Mm-hmm. He was the major shareholder of a radio station I used to work for.
He does everything, doesn't he? He's involved in everything, it seems like.
So I came out of the studio one day, and he was there in the corridor, and I just sort of thought, oh, you know, walk past him. And he just sort of turned and went, "You're doing a very good job." And patted me on the back. I don't think he knew how I was, but just the fact he did it was enough.
I bet he did, though. He has that kind of mind. It's amazing.
It would be great.
Yeah.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to go, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He knew me. Time to take a look at another movie you've picked for us, and you've only gone and picked one of cinema's greatest, 1975, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Ow. Hit me, Chief! Hit me, baby!
Where to begin with this movie? I think probably the best jumping off point is the fact that it picked up. It was only the second movie ever to pick up all 5 major Academy Awards.
Did not know that. Deserves it though. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, noises like that. Let's start with Jack Nicholson. What an actor.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible actor.
What is it about the movie that you like? Was it his performance, his portrayal of McMurphy?
I think it's not just his. I think it's everybody. I thought all of the actors. I thought the casting was incredible. And I thought the difference between each character and the insanity of each character and the heart of each one.
I tried, didn't I? God damn it.
They were really succinct and really beautiful. I was touched by a lot of the characters in that film.
And Louise Fletcher
Yeah.
was Nurse Ratched, one of cinema's greatest villains.
Yeah. Her performance was so simple it was scary.
She's a terrifying woman.
Yes.
Are there any scenes in particular that you would pick out of that movie that you love?
It's hard to say you love them because they're so challenging. The other performance I think I loved was the character of Billy. So beautiful and sad and moving.
You don't have to tell her, Miss Ratched.
I thought he was incredible in the film. And I also love when they go out fishing and they get the bus.
You all crazy?
Because in a movie that is at times so harrowing, it is that sort of moment of light.
Who are you?
We're from the State Mental Institution. This is Dr. Cheswick, Dr. Tabor, Dr. Fredrickson, Dr. Scanlon, famous Dr. Scanlon, Mr. Harding, Dr. Bibbett, Dr. Martini, and Dr. Seafeld.
How about you? Who are you?
Oh, I'm Dr. McMurphy, R.P. McMurphy.
Ready for a fascinating fact about One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Okay.
Okay, Kirk Douglas initially bought the rights to the book.
Okay.
Because he wanted to play McMurphy. And then he gave the rights to his son Michael, who eventually went about producing it and casting Jack Nicholson. Because Kirk Douglas was too old at that point, and Kirk was bloody angry at his
I
son.
bet.
Yeah.
I bet he wanted to make that film.
Are there any roles that you've ever wanted and auditioned for that haven't come about that you sort of go, I'd still like to have played that part?
Yeah, but obviously they're not eating me up because I can't remember which ones.
I remember there was a point at which you were maybe going to be in Armageddon.
Yes.
That would have been good.
That would have been good.
But I'm
Party
not
of
sure
Five
you've
wouldn't
mixed
let me out.
Yeah, that's right. Is that what
Yeah.
it was?
Yeah, I was doing Party of Five at the time. There were a few of those. There was what was the one about the prison, The Rock?
I'm just playing The Rock back through my head.
Yeah.
Which I love. But there's...
There wasn't a whole lot to do, no.
No, I think she goes, Nicolas Cage, don't go to the island. And
Yeah.
then he goes to the island at the end. She goes,
Yeah,
welcome back from the island.
Yeah, there's a few of those, aren't there? A lot of female roles like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's pretty much exactly what happens in Armageddon as well. Don't go to the asteroid, Ben Affleck. Welcome back from the asteroid, Ben Affleck.
It's true.
All right, I'd like to talk about another movie with you now.
Okay.
Which is a movie called The Diving Bell and the Butterfly. It's the most recent movie you've picked, 2007. This was made. What is it about this movie, apart from it being a true and fascinating story about the former editor-in-chief of Elle magazine, has a stroke, coma, wakes up and has this locked-in syndrome where he can only move his left eyelid, and then writes his memoirs by winking.
Yeah. I love Julian Schnabel. I think he's incredibly imaginative, and just what he was able to capture from this man's perspective. I mean, for any of us to imagine what that would be, to only be able to move one eye, to lose everything, really.
Enfin, je vais pas y aller par quatre chemins, Jean d'Eau. Vous êtes paralysé de la tête aux pieds, hein?
Ça, c'est la vie.
And then to find yourself again and find some way to be proud and alive and enjoy life. It'd be a hard thing to film and a hard thing to grasp, and I think he did a beautiful job of it.
Both emotionally and technically.
And technically,
as well.
yeah. I mean, the perspective to actually shoot something that looks as though it's only being shot out of one person's eye. I mean, that's very creative.
Derrière le rideau de toile mitée, une clarté laiteuse annonce l'approche du petit matin. J'ai mal au talon. la tête comme une enclume, et une sorte de scaphandre qui m'enserre tout le corps.
You say you like Julian
Schnabel, yeah.
Have you met him? Would you like to
I
work
have.
with-
I was lucky enough to meet him. I spoke to my agent and just said I was a huge fan, and he managed to set us up for the meeting. And I went to, he has this massive warehouse in New York City because he's a painter first, an artist. He's got this huge 4-story warehouse filled with paintings and sculptures. I mean, it blows your mind when you go in, you realize sort of the mind of this man. And we ended up sitting for hours, and it was before he made this film, actually. He was just considering how he was going to do it, and had just read the book, and was actually going through the death of his father at the time, and was talking about how he was very interested in making this film because it was helping him with that process. So I was really curious how the film would turn out, and I thought it was pretty stunning.
And it could have been a very different film, because for a long time it was going to be an English language film.
That's
and
right.
Johnny Depp was attached to the whole thing, and then it all sort of changed, and I think it was Julian's call to I'm just using his first name now.
Good.
To go, let's make it in the French language.
Yeah, smart. I mean, you want to keep it true to the person, I think, and to their life, and I think it enhanced the film.
Great stuff. Well, those are your 4 movies. Now, if you'll entertain me with my movies that you've made that I'd like to talk about very quickly. How much fun was The Craft to make? It was 4 witchy girls in school uniforms. I loved it. It titillated me.
Nice, I'm glad to be of help.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was my first feature film in America, and I made some good friends on it, and yeah, we had a good time. It was silly, but it was fun.
Not silly. The cover was great. All walking towards the camera with the wind blowing, looking like you could do terrible, terrible things to a young boy.
You put it in your locker.
If
you had a locker.
I'd just get a locker in my bedroom and go, Mum, never open that locker. Wild Things.
Yes.
I think it's a great movie. Do you like it? Is it a film you look back on and go, oh, wow?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when I read the script, I had a certain idea of what it was. I think John McNaughton, you can never guess what is in his mind and what he's going to put out, but I think it really works. I think it's exactly what it should be.
It's a really tight, trashy, noir-y little thriller, sort of. So many different plots. I didn't see what was coming.
No, good.
It would have had a particularly sexy scene in it if Matt Dillon hadn't felt the need to gurn quite so much. Because that's one of the movie's sexy scenes. But he's going...
He does a little bit, you're right.
I love that movie.
Good.
Nev, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Really nice.
An absolute pleasure having you on the guest list.
Thank you, it was
Thank
fun.
you for your time. We might actually break my restraining order for a moment. Shake hands. Thank you.
Cool, thanks.
Well, there we have it, a fantastic selection of films from a fantastic actress. That was Neve Campbell on the guest list, who we can all see again in the near future in Scream 4. Looking forward to that. And who doesn't believe I can do a Dutch accent, which is just crazy. Huh? I'll see you in a week.